Shalom. It's your brother Azariah back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakah, Kadash. Double honors unto the elders, apostles, bishops at the great millstone. Peace and blessing salutations to the sincere believers, the hopefully elect of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, listening and laboring in his truth and all righteousness and sincerity. So this border situation that's going on currently with America, this thing is a lot more serious than people realize. And I say that because there's a lot going on at these borders. A war just popped off in Ecuador, which pretty much they're under martial law right now. But quietly, you're having a lot of Ecuadorians being expedited to America, and they're being given passage to come here through the southern border. In this border crisis, this is going to lead to a number of things. Number one, once people find out what's really going on with this border and that the government is complicit in this, and we'll get this clip because it's some real sinister stuff going on. But once people realize what's really going on, you're going to have seditions. You're going to have civil war. Basically, 2nd Esdras 15 is going to come into the picture where it says that the people shall not regard their kings nor princes. The kings and the princes represent the government officials, the leaders of the people. Because at that point, it's going to be obvious these people are in on America falling, that they're not trustworthy. So to hell with what they got to say. And this won't be a long lesson. We'll get straight to the point. But I just kind of want to lay the groundwork for what we're about to get into, because this 2024 is about to be a hell of a year, as we've been saying. There's also rumors that the Red Cross is in on this as well, but we'll get into it. Let me play this video.
Well, a lot of them were coming from China. When we went down there, this whole migrant trail we got from a Chinese illegal alien in the first place. And as soon as you start off in Quito, you can see like straight from the get-go, there's a bunch of, Chinese that are already down there. And as you go up, I mean, it basically confirmed the whole thing for us. Like as you can see in the documentary, there's literally Chinese staging points.
So real quick, in case you don't know who these guys are, they recently did a documentary on what's going on at the border. And what they did was they actually took the routes, or one of the routes that the migrants use to come up to America. If you want to see that, you can just go to Redacted, and you can probably start at like the 37, 36 minute mark, just so you can get the full context. So basically, they took a route that the migrants took, and they were pretty much describing all of what they had to go through to get to America. They almost ended up dying. They were, all of their, well, pretty much the most important of their electronic equipment was destroyed so that there wouldn't be no evidence. So what they're going into now is that there's a lot of Chinese military-aged men that are also taking these routes. Now, you would have to be very naive to believe that the American government doesn't know that many Chinese military-aged men are coming into America. You would have to be naive to believe that a lot of Iranian military-aged men are not coming into America. We've already brought out the reports that they caught how many, what they call special interest aliens already, and they released them back into the migrant surge. They released these people back into the population. So they're well aware that they're here in America. So this would lead one to question, is the American government complicit with the Chinese government in the downfall of America? Because we know what it says in Psalm 68, that all these nations were confederate Edom was the first nation mentioned. Then it mentioned Moab and Ishmael, the so-called Arabs, the Moab, and the so-called Chinese. You know, Gabal, Ammon, the Hagarenes. You know, tribes of Ham. So you have to understand that all these nations are confederate together in what's going on, because they all want the same end when this is all said and done. They all want rulership. They're just warring at the top over, really, you could argue, petty things, but nonetheless, they're all confederate. Let's continue.
Hotels that specifically house Chinese illegal aliens going up to the United States. So that's like the first important thing is I would say, I mean, based on what I saw, like 50%. I mean, I don't want to throw out exact numbers, but a lot of Chinese illegal aliens are coming up to the United States. And the reason why this is important is because, you know, we are like enemies with China. So, you know, you have all these people from China coming up to the United States. A lot of them are good people, but even if it's a small percentage of them that have sinister intentions, you know, that are spies, that are undercover police officers that are coming up, if there's ever a conflict or dispute between the United States and China, and, you know, you have all these people that are here from, you know, that are spies from China, that could be,
or saboteurs or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And not only that, and then obviously you have Venezuelans, Ecuadorians, Colombians, people from that part of the world that are already right there, you know, situated next to the gap. And then other than that, you got special interest aliens, man. You got Syrians coming up. Syria, that's an incredibly sketchy country. We got no idea who these men are. You'll see a clip in that video of just these Syrian men that are walking up to the camp, and all military aged, all wearing the same gear, just marching in unison up to the camp. I mean, they look like they're military. A bunch of people from Afghanistan as well. When we got to Mexico, there were tons of military aged men from countries like Sierra Leone. Everybody and anybody is coming up here, man. So, I mean, you name the country, and I'm sure we ran into it.
What about, I mean, we heard quite a bit recently about Hezbollah. Did you run into any that you knew were specifically from Hezbollah or Hamas?
No, but I guess, I mean, no, that would be incredible if we knew it was specifically that they were from there. However, like I was saying with those Syrian men, I mean, I'll give you a little backstory. Like when you guys see the documentary, you'll see that there's one area where I filmed these men walking up to a camp. I don't know how many of you that were in that group that I filmed, maybe like 10 or so, okay? And I had actually run into this group beforehand, before we actually entered the jungle. And these were all men. They claimed to be from Syria. And I met them basically right on the outskirts of the jungle before we had gone in. And these men get off of a boat, right, a smuggling boat, to take them to the staging point in Panama. And all these men, again, claiming to be from Syria, all get off the boat. They're all wearing crucifix necklaces. And a lot of them have brand new tattoos that say Jesus, and all the tattoos look identical. So, I mean, listen, this is all kind of anecdotal. And then they find out they're talking to me, and they're really suspicious. And then when they find out I'm an American, they want nothing to do with me. And they get real hostile when they realize that I have a camera and then I'm filming things. So look, this is all anecdotal stuff, but you tell me why a bunch of Syrian men are getting off a smuggling boat, every single one of them wearing crucifixes, almost like they were trying to cover something up. And
you have to ask the question, who's recruiting these people? How do they know where to go? How do they know where to meet up? And they getting supplies and all kind of stuff. Where is all this funding coming from? Well, it's common knowledge that the American government, the Joe Biden cabinet, is funding all these people to come in. Now, they don't know who's coming over here. They know the people coming over are who they want to come over, but there's a lot of people coming through as well that are sneaking in. So you have a lot of confusion going on with this whole border thing. Things are about to get very bad. And people always ask us, why are you always talking about bad stuff? Why are you always talking about the worst case scenario? Well, because this is the worst case scenario. We constantly talk about the bad things that's about to happen because these are the times that we're in. We don't have anything good to report. The only thing good that we have to report is the salvation of the elect, is getting out of America, being saved from the said evils. That's the only good thing that we have to report, looking forward to the kingdom of heaven. But as far as what this world entails, what America entails, what Europe and the four corners of this current of this earth, this current age, There's nothing good coming to this place. This is the time for destruction. This is the time for judgment. And people, especially 2/3 of our people, they still don't understand that, but they will understand very soon. Very soon, you're gonna know that a prophet had been among you, because what these people do, they can tell you the evidence, they can give you the information, but they will never fully understand, because the Lord is not dealing with them on that level. Yeah, they can understand these things are happening, but they don't fully understand the why. See, that's what they don't really understand. Why is this happening? What is the end to all of these events? And the end of these events is the establishment of an NWO. But in the midst of that creation of an NWO, Yahweh Shai and the host of heaven is going to come back and destroy all these nations, put them all in subjugation under the Israelites. This is what the real end game is. But currently, right now, they can't really understand why these things are happening. Why is America falling like it is? Why is Biden making the moves that he's making? Well, ultimately, it's because the people that are in charge, these are the wicked. Okay? Job 9:24, the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? The wicked is referring to Esau, Edom. We would say the so-called white man, the self-proclaimed white man, because he's not really white. He's red. Okay? He's different shades of red. See? But this is all to accomplish their agenda. But really, them going about to accomplish their agenda, they're really accomplishing the Most High's agenda. Because the more, they was talking about 2030, we got to speed up the agenda, right? Well, Esau speeding up the agenda is only speeding up his own destruction, and he doesn't understand that because he's proud. See, he really thinks that he's about to accomplish what he's set to accomplish. What do you think they're talking about in Davos right now? Talking about this disease X, and billions of people are gonna be deleted in 2024. They talking about a lot of different stuff right now that they're about to bring forth. The WHO, the World Health Organization, the World Economic Forum, all these people. Who are these people? How did they get set up and have all this influence and power? Well, it all goes back to the wicked, okay? It all goes back to the wicked, man. Let's watch a little bit more of this, and we'll get an article that coincides with this, and we can get some scriptures and close out. This won't be a long lesson at all.
Some of them have tattoos that say Jesus with this same exact font. To me, it seems slightly suspicious. Let's just put it lightly. Okay, like they could be covered something up. And even if those guys were nothing, I'm sure men like them are associated with Hezbollah or Hamas and are coming up here probably today.
Well, there's a long history of people using religion as cover, right? I mean, just go back through, read your history books, right? So you're not wrong in wondering what is going on here with that at all. It's pretty remarkable. What are these people telling you? Other than they're mad to see a camera and they don't want to be filmed, you probably had a lot of interactions with these people coming up all the way through this passage. What are they saying about why they're coming?
I'll say this. It's not the most, you're not hearing these profound stories. I'm sure some of them might have a profound story, but usually it's the same thing. It's like, we want to get to the United States for a better life. You know what I mean? El Mejor Vida. It's the same thing for most of these people. And then some of the people from China, maybe they'll tell you that they're trying to flee oppression. Clearly with the Chinese, I mean, there's so clearly spies and saboteurs coming up. Clearly, I mean, it's so evident.
Every person we asked who's Chinese, is there Chinese police living in the United States? Are there Chinese spies living in the United States? Every single person we asked who is Chinese, all of them said yes.
Yeah.
So take that for what you.
All of them said yes. Every single last one of them said yes. So what does that tell you? Again, China and America may be at odds on paper, on the surface, but behind the scenes, they all plugged in together. All these nations are confederate, man. All of them are confederate. This is why even the Chinese that are coming over here, it's pretty much well known that, yeah, there are Chinese spies. There's Iranian spies. There's Syrian spies. There's Russian spies in America. All the so-called enemies of America. If this truly is an invasion, then America is already done. America is already through. And like I said in the beginning, once people really realize how serious that this border thing is, a civil war is going to pop off in America. Once the people find out that they've been lied to, and that they've been lied to at the cost of their own livelihood. That's the thing about it. They've been lied to at the cost of their own living expense. It's not just a little white lie that doesn't really affect you like that. Might hurt your feelings, but no, this is affecting the quality of life of the average American. And that's going to cause people to get violent. And this is what the elites want. They want the chaos to ensue. Then, once people get desperate enough, once the food is cut off, once there's no power, all right, they showed you that in Leave the World Behind, that there is going to be a blackout. People are not going to have power. Imagine if that happens in the midst of winter when it's freezing cold. See, so the bottom line is Esau, he's going to make certain things come to pass that's going to bring people to their knees. It's going to bring them to the breaking point that eventually will, people are going to realize at a certain point it's more beneficial to just do what the elites tell them to do because they can have some sense of comfort. They're going to want relief from the hell that's being brought upon the earth. And let me get Habakkuk 2 and verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up in Salaki, let me read it again. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. Who is this talking about? It's talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Okay, again, when you go to Psalm 68, again, he's the first nation mentioned. So that means what? That he's the leader of all these nations. Okay, it was Esau's idea to have all these nations come together and be confederate against the Israelites to take us down, to discontinue us from our heritage. So this is why, okay, Esau was given the fatness of the earth. He was given rulership. He was blessed by Isaac. And he's currently in his rulership right now. Esau, mainly Amalek, is the first of the nations as it is written. But the just shall live by his faith. Verse 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. His wine, his wicked philosophies, his wicked way of life, pushing these things unto the nations, perverting people's minds with wickedness, distorting the truth. That's that wine. He is a proud man. Neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell and is as death. So Esau, he enlargeth his desire as hell. His desire is to create a living hell on the planet Earth. That's his desire. And is as death everywhere this man go. Death follows him. When he came to America, what came with the Edomite? Death. When he went to South America, what happened? Death. All the indigenous, you name it, any continent that the so-called white man went to, what followed? Death, destruction. Then he stole the land, and we already know how he got everything, okay? Rape, robbery, murder. This is the history of the Edomite. And cannot be satisfied. No matter how much this man get, he can never have enough. He literally has control over all of the earth, and he's still not satisfied. He wants to be like the Most High. That's really what his desire is. But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And how does he do this? By the way of America. This place is known as what? The Great Melting Pot, right? And he's currently doing this. He's influxing all these different nations through the border, through this border crisis. This is literally what he's doing right now. So pretty much, Esau, Revelation 12:12, the devil cometh unto you with great wrath, for he know that he hath but a short time. He know his time is short. This is why these elites with billions of dollars, they've built their bunkers. They have all the provisions that they need. They're going into the bunkers now because this disease X, this thing is about to be released, and they saying that it's going to be 100% death rate for this disease X. So they don't want to be nowhere around. Meanwhile, these people that's out here in this world, they have no idea what's going on. They're caught up in the cares of this life, not paying attention to what's really important. All right. So, hey, we got to thank Yahweh Bashem Yahushua that we can see clearly what's going on, that we know what's about to come upon the earth, and we can prepare ourselves spiritually, that the Lord can be with us when these things do come. Because if you don't got Yahweh Bashem Yahushua when these things come upon the earth, you ain't going to make it. You're going to perish like the multitude of them that were born in vain.
You will.
We include a clip in there where we ask a Chinese member, like, are there Chinese police in the U.S.? And he uses his translator. He said, yeah, there are. We didn't even include, there were other Chinese we talked to that we got on video. We didn't put in. There was no place to put it. The documentary was already so long. That confirmed on camera. They're like, oh, we asked them, like, are there Chinese spies going up to the U.S.? He's like, of course there are. What are you talking about? So this is openly known. And the other guy, the people that are coming from Venezuela, for example, it's all the same stuff. And you guys will see in the video that, Biden is promising us a better future. So we're going up to the U.S. And, not reasons to claim asylum, obviously. That's not a reason to enter the country illegally and claim to be a refugee. But, they'll get into the U.S. and they'll get a court date that's like 10 years out into the future. They'll probably be here forever, even though they don't really have an legal claim to be here.
Okay, so we can pretty much got the point on that. Let's jump here to this article. This is from Zero Hedge. Journalists uncover shadowy network of NGOs facilitating U.S. border invasion. Journalist James O'Keefe uncovered a shadowy network of secretive nonprofits, some of which are funded by taxpayers, that are facilitating the invasion of illegals on the southern border. O'Keefe said Elitist Angels is a brand new nonprofit with no tax records on file that operates inside an old bank building in the Arizona border town of Nogales. We just followed the trail of the migrant vans right to the source, visiting the Arizona border town of Nogales, where we encountered some rude and suspicious Elitist Angels NGO workers who once again called the police on us. Let's jump down. A volunteer, pay attention, with the American Red Cross, who wouldn't give us his name, tried to prevent us from filming outside a migrant facility and kept sticking his hand over our cameras. Then, when we questioned a volunteer with the NGO, she said, quote, "I am your father," and stormed off. A group called Elitist Angels runs the facility, but they're a brand new nonprofit with no tax records on file. After Elitist, the migrants are crammed into buses like cattle to a processing facility an hour away in Tucson. Once the migrants were boarded on the bus, we got a head start to meet them at a processing facility an hour away in Tucson. But once again, we couldn't get anywhere near the building. The staff of the facility run by Casa Elitist threatened to call the cops again. So they don't want this thing known. Okay, these people are plugged in with the American Red Cross, which is supposed to be a humanitarian aid relief organization, right? But here it is, they're smuggling in illegals across the border. And American Red Cross is funded by who? It's funded by the U.S. government. So like I said, okay, these people are all complicit in what's going on. These people in America about to catch hell and don't even know it. The Red Cross, it's like Elon Musk chimed in on the X thread asking, is the Red Cross supporting illegal immigration? And the answer is yes. Elon Musk here at Red Cross is working right alongside elitists, putting illegal immigrants on buses and shipping them to location in Tucson, where they are then shipped to Phoenix Sky Harbor. Also, the Red Cross are the first in at child camps. They leave once the NGO is contracted. Hey, it's all about to go down. Now, this is from Muckraker. This is from the guys that we was just watching on Redacted. Okay, so they allegedly got some maps of where these migrants are coming in through the border, like the routes that they taking. Muckraker has obtained multiple maps handed out by non-government organizations across South and Central America. Okay, I didn't want to do that. Slovakia. Okay. So those are the routes that they taken. Americans need to wake up. These chilling reports may indicate the federal government is using taxpayer dollars to facilitate the largest invasion of the southern border ever. It's becoming increasingly apparent why the Biden administration has yet to properly secure the border. And I've been saying this a lot. If they didn't want these people to come through the border, it wouldn't be happening. Let you try to get over on the IRS when it's tax time, right? They gonna get you like that. But when it comes to all these people that are unknown coming across the border, this been happening for months. And it hasn't stopped yet. And there's been no moves to stop it. So what do that tell you? They want this to happen. Because what is going to take place in 2024 and down the line is the collapse of America through violence. Okay, just reference Forever Purge. Purge election year. These are visuals that you can use to get it in your mind what they want to do. And these are the means that they're taking to get there. A lot of NGOs are helping Biden open the border to unlimited illegal crossing. But none of this could happen without the president's approval. Exactly. Again, if they didn't want it to happen, it would not be happening. Byron York, the chief political correspondent at the Washington Examiner, recently said. So this is nothing but the wicked devising mischief. His soul which is lifted up in him is not upright. Let's get a scripture. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 2. Go to Proverbs chapter 2 and we'll start at 10. When wisdom entereth into thine heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul, discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee, to deliver thee from the way of the evil man. Who is that evil man? That evil man is Esau Edom, because he's the leader of all these nations. Yeah, you got all these nations coming over here, but who put the battery in their back to do what they're doing? Who gave them the go ahead to do these things? It's Esau Edom. He's the ringleader for all these nations. From the way of the evil man, from the man that speaketh froward things. Now, what do it mean to be froward? This is the definition of froward, and it says stubbornly contrary and disobedient, obstinate, not willing to yield or comply with what is required or is reasonable, perverse, disobedient, and peevish. And that reminds me of when Cain and Abel, when they were supposed to give their sacrifice unto Yahweh. And of course, Abel, he gave a righteous sacrifice. He brought the firstlings of his flock unblemished. And what did Cain bring? Cain brought vegetables to be sacrificed, a bloodless sacrifice unto the Lord. Now, it wasn't that Cain didn't know what the proper sacrifice was. Cain knew, just like Abel knew. But see, Cain, he was froward. All right? Cain was stubbornly contrary and disobedient. Cain knew the right thing to do. He knew the proper sacrifice, but he did the opposite. Why? Because he's wicked. You see? Not willing to yield or comply with what is required. Cain was not willing to yield or comply with what the Lord required. So therefore, that's why he was rejected, and he got jealous, and he ended up slaying his brother Abel out of jealousy. You see? So this is Esau, because Esau is nothing more than Cain come back after the flood. All right? Verse 13, who leave the path of uprightness to walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice to do evil and delight in the frowardness of the wicked, whose ways are crooked, and they froward in their paths, to deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger which flattereth with her words. All right? So the ways of Esau, Edom are crooked and perverse. He knows that what he's doing is not right. But again, he's been set up in his spirit to carry out the left-handed agenda of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. This is why he can't stop what he's doing. This is why he won't stop what he's doing. And he's doing all this to basically get the birthright. Because he thinks, well, if I can destroy 7.5 billion people off the planet, if I can wipe out the Israelites, then the Lord will have mercy on me, because I'm going to be the only one left, and the Lord is going to be like, well, I got to give the kingdom to somebody, so I'm going to give it to Esau. That's his wicked, perverse mindset, man. All right? Going back to his spirit, which is lifted up in him, is not upright. Esau ain't right, man. But these are the things that he wants to bring upon the earth. He wants to make the earth a living hell. And he wants to be like the Most High. This is why they trying to institute all this AI technology, and everybody want to drive electric vehicles and doing away with physical money. Okay, which is leading to what? Revelation 13 and 16, the MOTB, which they about to bring that out soon. You know what I'm saying? Which, hey, that's the RFID micro CHIP, the C-HIP. Okay. So look, bottom line is, we need to get very serious in the spirit, because when these things come, hey, the scriptures say that the day of the Lord going to take those that's not watching like a thief in the night. You know, that's why we got to continuously watch, continuously pray, continuously rehearse the righteous acts, that we may be found favorable unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and that we may escape the said evils that are going to come upon the earth through the means of the Most High's rod of correction, through the means of the Lord's whipping stick, which is what? Esau, Edom, and the other nations. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end this lesson here. Hopefully it was edifying through the Rakah Kadash. And until next time, Lord willing, shalom to the elect.